Hello everyone, welcome back. And in today's session, we are going to learn how to draw, construct an Islamic geometric pattern, and also how to weave it further to just give that beautiful, intricate look. And I will be collaborating with Mishael George, who is teaching us today's pattern. She's amazing at what she does, and you will learn a lot from this session.
Make sure it's at the kind of together so that your lines don't go wonky, right? If you're working on an A4 size sheet, like I suggested, draw a line down the middle, right here. Right? And mark the center of that line. So if it's an A4 size sheet, I would say about at 10.5 centimeters. And try and be as precise as possible so that you make as few mistakes. But it's okay if you do, right? For an A4 size sheet, open up your compass to a diameter of 7. I would 7 because that's big enough for you to kind of be able to do the weaving. If you're more advanced, I'm sure you can do a smaller diameter. So this is the easiest way to do it. I'm gonna mark 7 from the center. Okay. Keep your compass point on the center like that. And just a tip, when you're drawing with your compass, try and hold on to this part of it so you don't change the radius, right? And you draw a circle. Just let me know if I'm going too fast. I'll take it slower. Once you're done with your circle, keep your compass on this with the same radius, right? At 7 centimeters. You can always stop for a second and make sure it's the same, right? Now you keep it on the right side, this right point where you have the line intersecting the circle. Keep it right there at that point. And then draw a small arc right here on top and below. These two. And then repeat it on the other side. So these two. Okay, now you can take your ruler and your pencil. Always try and keep your pencil as sharp as possible because these are where mistakes kind of crop up. Right.
Are you able to repeat the measurements quickly from the start? I think few people have just joined, so.
Absolutely. I have drawn a line at the center of the sheet and I've marked the central point. If you're using an A4, I've marked it at 10.5 centimeters, just to make it easy for you. You open your compass to a radius of 7 centimeters, right? And keep it at the center point that you marked, and draw your circle, right? Can you see my drawing? Is it clear on the screen?
It is clear, yes.
It's clear. Thank you. And after you draw your circle using the same radius, Keep it on the at this corner where, I'm sorry, not a corner, but where the line intersects the circle. Draw your arcs on both sides, top and bottom, and repeat the same here. Keep your compass centered here and draw the arc on both sides. Yep. Now you've got 4 arcs. Take your straight edge, your ruler, sorry, and a sharp pencil. And now what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line from this point to this point, right? Keep it as accurate as you can and take your time, that's okay. An easy way to know if you're drawing it correctly is to keep your pencil point at that arc where the arc is cutting the circle and keep your ruler against it and check it here as well. That's an easy way to kind of ensure as much accuracy as possible. So you draw a line like that. Then from this point to this, where the initial line cuts the circle, you connect those. And likewise, you connect this point to this point. Right. Next, you do the exact same thing on the other side. So it'll be like a mirror image. You connect this point to this point. And then you connect this one to this one. And then this point to this one. Everything okay so far? Awesome. Great. Next, I'm just going to name these points, guys. So it's easier for you guys to kind of join the lines. So that's going to be A, B, C, D, E, and F. Right? And then after that, I'm going to name a few additional points that you're going to need going forward. So that's F. So we'll go with, you see this point here? That's going to be G. H. Sorry, someone had a question? I can't hear you, Dina.
Yeah, I think someone did have a question. If you could just quickly unmute yourself, please.
Yes, Michelle, hi. Can you
Hi.
please repeat the steps? I just late before 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, okay. Where
I
have
just joined
you?
2 minutes before.
Could you tell me where you are currently?
I'm just I don't know how center centimeter.
Oh, the
Uh,
radius?
yes, that radius.
That is 7 centimeters. I'll just write it here so you guys can kind of.
Yes, please. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, see, yeah. Just in case anyone has a question.
Fine.
Yeah.
I think it's clear. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem. So yeah, that's GH. This one's gonna be I, J, K, and L. Right? Right. So now I'm going to connect a few of these points, right? And I'm going to draw the lines extending outside of the circle. So I'm going to start with G and J, right? And the line is going to go through the center. Try and make this as accurate as possible. If there have been mistakes that have cropped up, you might see it here, but it's okay. You can always practice this, right? So this is G, J, right? And you draw a line extending outwards, going through the center, passing through J, and going outwards again, right? Like that. Now I'm going to continue around the circle. So from A to D, going out of the circle. H to K. You already have this line in the center, so you don't have to draw that. Then I to L. And then C to F. This one. All good, everybody? Yeah. Please ask me any questions if you have any. I'll go slower if you need to. I'm going to name these additional points now. That's going to be M, N, O, P, Q, and R. Right? Okay, so now I'm going to connect these additional points that we've marked on the circle. If you haven't noticed already, we've come up to 12 points on the circle. And when we connect all those points, you get your 12-pointed star, right? So I'm going to start doing that now. You can connect the point M at the very top to this point O.
Excuse me, can you just repeat those the other letters you added now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
If you've drawn the rays already, I'm just
I've
gonna.
already drawn the rays, yeah.
Got it. Okay, so this is M, N, O, P, Q, and R.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Right. I'm going to connect M to O. O to Q, right across. And then Q back to M. That forms a triangle right there. Right? And then likewise, I'm going to do the opposite of that. So I'm going to connect N to R, right? At this point, you'll see them kind of overlapping on these lines. I've made a mistake here, if you can see. It's a small one, but I'm not able to see myself very well, see these lines very well, so I've got a few mistakes there, but try and get them to overlap as best as you can on these rays. Then I'm going to connect N to P. So that's this point to this point. And then P back to R. If you guys are done and you're able to pick it out, you can see the 12-pointed star already. You've got your 12 points and they formed a star. I'm going to ink it out to show you guys what this looks like. You can follow along with me if you like, or you can keep it like this. If you feel confident about working on your pencil work, then go ahead. I'm just going to ink it out so you can see the star, right? Oh, sorry. First, I'm just going to mark out a few more points that you need. That would be this point here. This one is, where do we stop? R. So S, this one. This point here is T, U, V, W, and X. Right? So I'm just going to ink this one out. I'm going to connect M to S. And this one's T. T to O. Just so you guys can see it, follow along if you want. O to U and Q to V.
Allowed to ink it as well?
Okay, so then I'll go slower.
No. What I meant to ask is, since you're using a pen right now, are we also
Right.
meant to use a pen and start inking it?
Yeah, so you can if you want to. If you've got tracing paper, I would suggest we'll go ahead with that. But I'm inking this so all of you can see the 12-pointed star that you've made. And then from there, we can kind of do the weaving so you guys can figure that out as well. If you don't have tracing paper, you can do it on this. So it's entirely up to you. If you want to ink it, it will help you see the star. So then you can work based on that. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
want to, sorry.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Okay. Yeah, so that's this point V to Q. And then W to Q. And M to X. All right. I'm going to do this one. This is N to T. U to P, this one. P to V. W to R. N to S. And X to R. So you can see a 6-pointed star already. And then there's one more 6-pointed star lying there in the middle. So we're going to ink that one as well. It's the first one that you guys drew. So that's A to H. And P to C. Sorry, I to C. Right? The straight line. This one, A to G. Sorry, where would you like me to go back to? Somebody just said, please go slow. So is there any point that you would like me to?
Yourself, and please let Michelle know where exactly you're struck, because yeah,
I can
because
go back to that
it's
point,
been
yeah.
going very slow, but if there's any point you're stuck at, let her know, because I think relatively everyone is okay with the speed she's going at. If others could also quickly give a thumbs up if the speed is okay, because for me it's really perfect. Yeah, so
It
if
can get a little confusing, so I totally understand if
yeah, that's what, like,
someone's
because
stuck.
it's easy for most of them. So if it's not comfortable for her, if she could definitely let us know, so we could then slow it down accordingly.
Yeah.
Just unmute yourself. So
Can you just show the second star? The first is done, the second one, just once.
The
Thank you.
second one, right. No problem. So I've started off at the point A, and I'm going to connect it to C, right? So it's A to H and I to C. Okay. And then I'm going to go this way. A to G. And then L to E. And then here, from C to J. And from E to K. And the last bit, we're going to go from B to I, J to D, D to K, L to F, that straight line. And the absolute last line, which is F to G and H to B. Right, so you can now see a 12-point to start. I'll take a break here if anyone has a question that they need, any points that they need to connect, you can ask me. Unless it's all good, then we can continue. That's also fine. All good? Okay, I see a lot of thumbs up. Awesome. So what we've done is the construction of the star, right? And now I'm going to teach you how to weave it. So in case you joined later, this is what a woven pattern looks like. This is one version of it. Another version that I've done is this one, right? So let's try and do that now. If you have tracing paper, what you can do is you kind of keep it over that and you tape it into place. This makes it easier for you to draw once you tape it. If you don't have tracing paper, if most of you don't have tracing paper, then I'll just kind of teach you how to do it on this itself. So if I could get an idea of what everyone would prefer.
I think the construction technique will be the same regardless of it's a tracing paper or not, right? It's just that when you do it on a tracing paper, it's easy to transfer the pattern and it's just more clearer, right?
So the reason I use tracing paper is so when I did this, right, you don't transfer the lines that come in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
It's entirely up to you.
I would prefer if you show us with the tracing paper also, maybe later on also we can try it.
Got it. I can do that. Absolutely.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, done. Awesome. If you don't have it, it's fine. You can just, I think Veena will put up a recording of this so you can follow along later if you don't have the tracing paper with you, right? So I'm just gonna tape this into place. Once I find my tape, sorry. Yeah. If you have it, this is masking tape. It doesn't rip your paper. So, I mean, you can kind of remove a little glue by sticking it on your hand. So it doesn't rip your paper at all. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I've missed a small little thing that I was supposed to do. Before you put your tracing paper on, and this is a big thing. How you create these lines, these parallel lines, it's not easy to do it with measurements, right? So the easiest way to do it is to take your compass, right? And if this were a bigger drawing, I would take a bigger radius, but because this is smaller, I'm gonna keep my compass at its smallest radius, which is like this, right? And I'm gonna keep it on each of these points, the outer points on the circle, and I'm gonna draw tiny circles. So I'm gonna keep it at M at its smallest radius, and I'm gonna draw a circle, right? Likewise, I will follow through on each of these 12 points. That's on A. N. B, O, C, so I've actually used the smallest radius possible, which is, yeah, instead of opening it up at all, I've kept it absolutely closed. So that's like the smallest radius I can get. I hope that answered your question. P, D, Q, E, R, and finally F. Right. Again, if you have a bigger drawing, you can do a bigger circle so that the lines that you draw are wider. I think this is fairly optimal for this. So now you put your tracing paper over it. Right. So we're going to draw a whole bunch of lines right now. It's going to be a little confusing, so I'll go as slow and easy and clearly as I can. So you see these lines that we drew? These are all radial lines, all of these ones. So starting at M, keep your ruler at that circle, right? At the circumference of that circle that you drew, the smallest one, and line it up with the circle here. Right? Now starting at this radial line, draw a line that goes to the next one and stop right there. So from this line till here. And then from this line, your horizontal line, till the next one and stop right there.
Can you please repeat it again?
Yeah. So I kept my ruler at the edge of this circle and at the edge of this circle, right? And then I drew a line from this radial line, which is M, the point M above it, to the next one, like that. And then I connected these two lines as well. And you can do that on the other side of the circle. But this time, start from this point and go till here. So just underneath the seam. And likewise. Now you're going to do the same thing for all of these lines. Right? So we're going to go from O to Q. You keep your ruler straight at the edge of those two little circles. You start from here and go to the next radial line and stop there. From here to the next radial line and stop right there. And on the inside, the other side of the circle, from here to here, and then the next one, which is M to Q. From M to the next radial line. From Q, from Q to the next radial line. Likewise on the other side of the circle. This line to this line. And this line to this. Is everybody able to follow with these instructions? I'm not sure because this is a little confusing now. Yeah, all good? Awesome. So now, from N to R, this line to this, these two. And do the same on the other side of the circle as well. From N to P, and on the other side of the circle as well. And on the third side, which is P, the point P to point R. These two lines and these two lines. And on the other side of the circle as well. Now I'm going to repeat the exact same process for the other 6-pointed star. I'm going to start with A to C. C to E.
Just a quick question,
Yeah.
Michelle. Would
Yeah.
it be worth inking the lines with some different color, like for people who just feel a little overwhelmed with so many lines?
I can do that. I can do that.
Would it be better?
Yeah, I can do that. If it's not visible, then definitely.
No, it's visible, but I'm just asking like so that it's like how we very nicely mark the points like A, B, C, D, like that. I was just
Right.
asking if that's a convenient method to ink the color so that okay we know that because especially
Got it.
start with overlap. I mean, weaving the next star. So
Got it. Got it. So, what you can do, and I probably should have done that for you guys,
that's okay.
um, is to, I've just got these practice sheets with me, but I've inked the radial lines with another color so that when it's under the sheet, you can kind of see that. All right.
Okay, that helps. Yeah, inking the
Yeah.
radial lines with a different color. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so what I've done is I've inked the star with one color and the radial lines with another, and then that will probably make it easier for you. If you are doing the entire thing on the paper and you're not using a tracing paper, then uh, be confident and do it entirely with pencil. That's what I would say, because then you can do the pattern entirely on the paper without having any ink come in the way.
Yeah,
But yeah, that
that's
takes a little bit of confidence, I think.
definitely, yeah, especially when you're doing Islamic geometry. I think I always say this too that you really
Yeah,
need to have like a double scanning eye where you need to scan which line is important and what do you need exactly.
absolutely. It can get really confusing. So that's also why I'm going slow because I know that these points can be like um, extremely daunting, but I'm really glad to see that everyone's getting it. That's really nice. Yeah. Okay, so we stopped at C to E, and now I'm gonna do D to F. Yeah, sorry, D to F. Okay. I'm just gonna stop you guys there and point out a mistake that I've made, right? I didn't line my ruler up properly, right? So the line has gone a little off and it hasn't connected here very well. So that is something you need to be really careful with because it can be really upsetting if at the end of everything your lines don't add up. So I'm just gonna erase that a bit. Yeah. Right. Then I'm gonna do the E to A line, this one. I've done the enter R and This one, the F to B line. Oh, and there's one more last one. Sorry, I've missed that out. This is the B to D line. That's the last one. You're welcome.
What would be the ideal radius if you're taking an A3?
I haven't tried this on an A3 to be honest.
Okay.
But I'm guessing since this is double, A3 would be double this. You could go, I guess, a 10, probably.
Yeah, we just have to try it and see then.
Yeah, you'll have to try it. And it also depends on how big you want the pattern to be, how big you want the weaving to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. And the last lines. Yep, I think the most tedious part of this is over. If you guys are done with this, I will show you how it's woven. All good? Yep. So I'm just gonna turn this paper around so you guys can see easier. But now you've got the pattern, right? And you can start from any side that you like. You take your eraser. It's super simple. I'm gonna start from this line, right? I'm gonna erase this little part in the middle, right? So now it looks like that line is going over the other line. And it really helps to kind of say this under your breath, but I kind of do this over under thing. So that goes over and then it goes under. So to do that, I will erase the other one. So now it looks like it's going underneath. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll repeat it again. I'm following this line, right? So I'm following this line. That's going that way, over, it's going under. Now it's going to go over again. So I'm going to erase the line here. So that's going over. And now it goes underneath this one. So that's under. And you follow through with the whole, this entire line, right? So that's under, then it goes over.
Sorry, I missed. You
Yeah.
have put the tracing paper up and you cannot see the other lines? How
Yeah, so
it's-
sorry. I just turned it around so that you can see the trace, what's on the tracing paper easier,
Okay.
right? I've just kept it like that. So you can see the weaving that's happening. I hope that makes sense. If I kept it like this, you wouldn't be able to see the weave properly, right? Because of the lines that are underneath. That's why I've kept it around. Lovely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is over. Now it goes under again. Over again. Under. It feels really silly to keep saying it, but it's just like the easiest way to keep in mind where you're going with the weave. To just keep saying over, under, over, under. But it helps. This goes over. Under. Over again. And the last bit goes under. Right, and you reached back where you started at. Right. So there are many things you can do with this now that the entire star is woven. Right. So if you shade these little parts, you can make it look like it's gone under. That just kind of helps define it as well. You can do many things with that, which is what I was trying to show you in the beginning as well. So this is what it looks like when it's shaded to make it look like it's woven like a basket, right? And this is another one where I've kept the line in the middle that we drew, and I did it directly onto the paper instead of a tracing paper. And then you can make it look like it's got these edges, one that's above and one that's got a shadow on it. There are many things you can do with it. If you do it directly on the paper, these are all things that are possible. If you do it on the tracing paper, then you can transfer it to other papers multiple times. So that's very helpful.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like tracing paper really helps when you want to transfer the pattern, but otherwise you can still do it without a tracing paper,
On the
but
paper.
you can't create multiple versions, right?
Correct. So if you do it without, then it ends up looking like this. And then it's just so many lines and it's confusing, unless you like the look of that, which is absolutely perfect. But if you want to create something that's that looks clean and doesn't, have all those construction lines, I've still left some of mine, but this is the best way to do it with a tracing paper. Unless, of course, like I said, you can do the entire thing with a pencil and don't use a pen at all, then you can do that. So yeah, that's the woven 12-pointed star. If anyone has questions, I'm absolutely open to taking them now.
How do you trace it back like it's a
Onto something else?
yeah
Okay.
onto the normal sheet or A4 like?
So it's kind of an easy process. What you do is right now I'm using an HB pencil, right? It's not a soft pencil, but if you use a 2B or a 6B pencil and you draw these lines, right? I'm just gonna darken this and show you. So if you were to draw these lines like that,
Yeah.
right? It's dark. You turn this tracing paper over,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And this is a technique I learned from the teacher that I learned geometry from, but she uses a spoon, right?
Okay.
And with the spoon, you kind of do that
Oh, nice. Okay.
on the other side of it. It transfers onto the paper.
Okay, okay.
This isn't showing up, unfortunately, because my pencil isn't a very soft
Yeah,
tool.
yeah.
But if
And
you were to
any
use
white, we have that Xerox, that carbon paper, we have that white or yellow. Will that
yeah,
also
you
work?
can use that as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I
Okay.
have used that. The only problem with that is you have to keep lifting it up to see
Yeah.
what's underneath,
Yeah, true.
which is a little confusing. It might move the paper, so you might make mistakes at that point.
Yes.
But you can absolutely use that. Yes,
Okay. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
no problem. Yeah. If anyone is stuck anywhere, I can absolutely help them.
When you're transferring using the spoon method, is it really required to reverse it? Can't you just ink it? Can't you just darken it and then transfer it without reversing it?
You need to have the pencil dust on the other side, right? Otherwise, it won't transfer. Tracing paper, essentially, from all that I've learned, is to use you kind of use it to get your pattern on this, so that you can then transfer it multiple times. So to do that, you will need pencil dust on the pattern.
Yeah.
Right? When you trace it, it's only on this side. It's not on the other side. Which is where, I'm sorry, I didn't get her name, but she did speak about carbon paper.
Yeah.
That's very helpful if you don't want to go through that extra process of, pencil dust and using
Draw
the,
and then just the
yeah,
impression
it's,
all over the paper. Yeah.
but it adds to the fun, I think. I don't know. That's how I've been doing it for however long. And it's nice. It's a fun thing to do.
Absolutely. I think it's weaving is constructing a geometric pattern is one activity, and then weaving is another activity. Like right now, what I'm really doing is after we have done all the tracing, I've just
Yeah.
been trying to highlight the
Oh, yeah. Lovely.
pattern itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can. It's a very therapeutic process. I've done this in the past.
It really is.
Now getting back to it again, it's really nice.
I think even more than constructing the pattern, when you keep saying over and under in your head, you go into kind of this like meditative zone. I don't know about you, but it's just every time that I say over, under, and I go into a zone. And that's
While you're
lovely.
weaving in and out, so it's a very therapeutic process of like, okay, just go. It's very, you have to concentrate a lot.
You do have to, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something you can just like, kind of do on autopilot. It's
Yeah.
something that you have to focus on. So it's in fact, you do mandalas a lot. I used to, I don't as much anymore. But every time you repeat the patterns in that circle, you can't do it on autopilot. You have to focus, and it goes into this really nice. You go
True.
to this really nice place in your head.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
So if you could also show the final output once, like I know there are multiple variations of it, so that people could just have a quick idea.
I can do that. So this is the one that I was talking about, where I've shaded underneath to make it look like a basket weave, right? And this is one that I've done, but I've kept that central line that we drew, a baseline. If you can see the circle here, so this is the initial star that we drew, right? And then I've drawn lines on either side of it like we did, but I've kept all three lines. So it gives it this kind of bezel 3D look, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
perfect.
no
I think
problem.
it's just more like the first very star that we drew before weaving is what you're
Yeah.
weaving in the second one. Yeah.
Exactly. You can see if once you kind of start noticing these patterns within all the 1,000 lines that we've drawn, you'll be able to see that the star is there. I've retained it, and then I've retained the other lines as well. It takes a little practice, but it's a really, really rewarding process if you guys
It is
can.
practice and also a lot of concentration. I think it's
Yeah.
just committing time and not giving up. That's the main thing.
Not giving up. Correct. Every time the lines go wrong, you tend to want to give up, but I think it's just something that you should keep at if you're interested in it, of course.
Definitely.
But yeah.
All good. Thank you so much, Michelle. You were wonderful. I know it being your
Thank you.
first session, but you've still done an amazing job. I would
Thank
really
you so much.
request everyone to sort of send all your love and thumbs up and all sort of reactions.
Thank you.
She has done a really good job, given it's her first time conducting a proper session on Google Meet, like with an audience, right?
The first time I've ever actually taught anybody geometry.
Yeah,
So
so you've
I
done a
hope you
really
guys
good
are
job
good.
with answering people's questions and just being slow and patient throughout this session. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much again. And if anyone wants to connect and learn from her, please do reach out to her. She is
Absolutely.
amazing.
Thank you so much, Veena. Thank you. Thanks
Okay.
everybody for joining in.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so much.
if you have any questions, please get in touch with me.